see it, I don't know if I wrote it very well, but kind of clumsily, but the 6,500 is kind of at one time, the server and some of the setup and that stuff, so we kind of figured budget here, we let's get 3 cars updated, and then next year we'll kind of look at, if we want to do.
Try to do
We're
right
trying to
stuff.
decide how many cars, again, keeping the fleet versus, keep updated, so. but we figured this is, we should do at least these 3 most active ones.
So moved. I'll let you go.
I couldn't talk. We're walking all over each other tonight.
You get the motion?
Yeah.
Okay, motion been made to approve the in-car camera system purchase for $22,893.75 by Councilman McMillan. Have a second by Councilman Graybon. Any discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next is the cereal malt beverage license for Dollar General. So,
Yeah, this is, they're now able to sell beer at Dollar General, so, it's a little bit out of sequence, but I think by doing this, then we're gonna be able to bridge the gap to get it on the same sequence as all of our other
It'll actually,
CMGs.
go till the end of December of next year, so about an extra month, but that gets us, so we can do it same time next year.
They wanted to get on it, so.
it's been moved by Councilman Miller that we approve the cereal malt beverage license for Dollar General. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Latrell. Any discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman McMillan that we adjourn. I have a second. Second by Councilman Gingler. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned. We'll now go into the work session. Katie, do you have anything at this time? Thank you very much. Jason? Thank you. Discussion items. The first item on discussion is the solar project.
Alright, so, this is something we're keep moving forward with. I had a good talk with Scott Shreve last week, a little bit more about it. And, a couple things, location wise, here, I'm gonna grab that, you wanna grab that light maybe, or maybe half of it or something. Yeah, that'll be good. Kind of what we're thinking, kind of revisiting a little bit is potentially kind of on the backside here, and I gotta do some more, but this kind of, ground that isn't, it's a little higher, not, it's not sprinkled or anything like that.
Directly south of the sewer plant.
Yeah. That could be a potential area. Yeah, we kind of think west, south, and, so west, sorry. It's on the south side of the property, but on the west side, yeah. And, this area down here is such a hole, that's a concern. Still thinking about it, just only from a standpoint of, how compact can we make a megawatt, just in case you ever wanted to add another megawatt onto it, how would that look and what would it be? So that's kind of that part of the update. The disposal update, again, I talked to Scott, we just kind of briefly talked about that. He said that market is kind of starting to come on board and mature, so, he didn't see a, 20 years from now, 25 years from now being a roadblock or a major roadblock on that type of thing, but he was gonna do a little bit more research on that for me and let me know on that. Yes, Lloyd?
Is that gonna be high enough to be out of the plant?
It's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question. I'd have to find that out.
Everything else at the plant is built up on a hill.
Yeah, we'll probably know more on that because they're actually doing all that later. I'd have to look on that base level to see where that is. Yeah, that's a good question. Acquisition process. Basically, the way that this could potentially work, and this is just kind of really out there right now, but the most efficient way for us to do this, that's beneficial to us, the utility and the customer, is a lot of entities or cities, they will actually have a local business or potentially a bank would be the ideal vehicle, would actually own the solar project. Because that way they get to use the tax credits. There's tax credits with these things. There's a tax, I think it's 30% this year, next year is 23%, so it's still pretty substantial, so they get that, especially for any sort of business, especially banks. I know they're always hungry for tax credits, because that, they have a pretty good tax liability, as long as they're profitable. But, so they would actually own it via PPA, so a power purchase agreement with them, so that at the end of that 7-year period, then they can use depreciation, they can do all that kind of stuff with it. And the IRS kind of wants to make sure that, it's not a 1-year gimmick to get the tax credit, so they kind of want to, let's say a 7-year period, yeah, Matt.
Is there a way we can put that up for a bid for people to do? I mean,
For
there may
that.
be people we don't know that.
Yeah, I suppose you could, you know what I mean, because, so basically it would be a 7-year maybe buyback from us at a certain rate, like it'd all be kind of programmed into the contract, they would get, and basically the way it typically works is the bank or whoever would own this thing would keep so much of the, what am I trying to say, the revenue, the tax credit, they would, how am I trying to say this right? Some of that discount from the tax credits they would keep, I'm not saying it exactly right, but they'd get a little piece of that as kind of their cost of helping us do this type of thing. And so that could probably be where, institution A is, okay, we'll keep, 5 basis points, institution B is, 6, and, that type of thing. So yeah, that would absolutely be, something that you would do, and it might open up to either here local, or, you might get some big outfit from who knows where doing it. So that would be the most efficient way, because in that rate, you're getting, potentially, let's say it's a $1 million project, $230,000 off of it, they might keep 30,000, for their mess with it, and so down the road, that helps bring it to a discount for us. And then about the fourth component that we really want to do, and Scott's going to help me with this, is the community solar program part. So that again would allow local citizens or businesses or whoever to buy a piece of it and to then have a reduced rate or reduced a bill or a credit to their bill for ownership that way. So that way they can basically have solar without having to actually have a project that they have to maintain and deal with. So again, these are pretty popular. Scott rattled off a bunch of communities that are doing it. It's kind of at that point where it's financially feasible for us, and we've got a location. And the nice thing is, between North Central Technical College and quite frankly Cloud Community College, we have a lot of local expertise and I don't know if free labor is the right word. I mean, obviously we want to make sure we're doing it, but we have a lot of people that are going to be able to want to be hands-on with this thing, and at the high school, I know Boyd High School is really big in this alternative energy right now, so it would be another big thing to have right in our backyard. That obviously we want to make sure it helps continue to lower prices and bring prices down. So that's kind of what's going on. So basically what we're currently working on, Scott's putting together kind of what that PPA thing would look like, and the buyback and all that stuff, kind of the model for it, because he'd done a lot of work for that. He's throwing different ideas at me here the last 2 or 3 years with this. But now it's kind of coming to a head. He's gonna freshen that up, so you guys have some hard numbers to look at that, and I'll probably have him come to actually present and talk about it, so that you guys can understand how that kind of works within our overall power portfolio. And then the community solar program too. I'll probably work with him, or even KMEA, who does our current power portfolio, because they've done a lot of community solar program research for a lot of member communities have been asking about it, and so. Not to reinvent the wheel, a lot of models are already out there, so. I told Scott I wanted to keep it moving forward, because obviously the tax credit thing continues to, I'm guessing unless Congress really changes their mind, it'll keep whittling down every year. The big thing is obviously it'll make a lot of these solar manufacturers hungry in the spring here, probably again, because there's a lot of demands getting soaked up right now, you know what I mean? So then they're gonna need to kind of, I'm guessing the price will almost absorb that 7% that goes away, because they're gonna wanna keep moving stuff, and things, and keep coming on board. So that's kind of where we're at right now, so.
So if a bank would we still finance the actual construction initially? And then they would basically purchase that from us? Is that how that would work?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly how, I had to think about that.
Because I'm wondering how the financial structure is gonna be. Is this something where KDHE might have loans, or USDA might have a project or anything? It's nothing like our water plant where there's potential? Nothing like that?
I don't think so, cause like the solar project that was done even in Concordia for Cloud Community College, how they use it as education component, so I don't think we could do that. They got a grant from Nick Hansen for part of it.
Okay.
But, yeah, I would think that the bank would do the financing, and they would carry that, but would probably be paying it through the utility to pay for it through that PPA over that 7-year period, with a buyback then at the end for a set amount, you know, so we got minimal payments along the way, and then, you know, it's $600,000 when you're all done at the end, you know, to buy it back, but, that's where, again, I'm just kind of giving you an idea of what Scott's the brains on that, so he'll give us, more financial data on that.
Because that's where I guess I'm looking at, we already have a big project in the water plant that we're trying to work on financing.
Yeah.
How is this gonna be added on top? I'm not opposed to it, I'm just
For sure.
wanting to see how that's gonna be structured.
Yeah, yeah. It'd almost be like a lease to own type of thing.
Yeah.
Because can a couple of banks go in on this?
I suppose, that's a good, but yeah,
I'm thinking that was done in the past in some
Yeah.
projects.
yeah, I suppose that could happen, you know, for all our institutions to swallow it, you know. Another model that you always bring up is, you know, somebody like AGCO, you know what I mean, but they might be so impossible to talk to, they're huge, but, you know, somebody with a big appetite for it would actually own it, because again, it's a depreciation and a tax benefit for them for that time period, and then the utility just buys it from them at the end, you know, so.
Farming has a pretty good tax.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, and I mean, they want to be like a co-op, but they have no appetite for irrigation, you know, they got appreciable assets sitting all over the place, they got too much of it.
I believe the housing project out in the edition was,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah,
started by banks, and then they sold it a year ago.
So, we got a 7-year ROI on it. Would the end user feel any reprieve from anything until that 7 years, or would that start kicking in,
yeah, I don't know that answer.
or prorated?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, because you're.
I would hate to implement something brand new and then not, it just kind of doesn't do anything for 7 years.
7 years. And then
For the
you-
end user, you know.
Yeah, yep, I understand. Yeah,
But you wanna dump as much as you can back into paying it off, I mean, I get that, but.
yeah, I think you'd want to model it so that it has a positive impact on the end user. And obviously, the longer you own it, the better, and that's kind of what you look at from a price per, and, you know, whenever you're looking at these things, you look at it from a price per, you know, kilowatt or megawatt, you know, you're looking at, the longer you spread it out, the longer you spread out the initial upfront cost. But then, you know, there's inverters that have to replace, there's things that go on, you know, there's degradation in the system, but that's what really makes that thing pay, is, you know, from years 10 to 25, that's when that thing's really doing well.
And I guess the only other question I would have is the insurance to cover it in case of disaster, hailstorm, et cetera. If they owned it, would they be carrying the insurance, or would we be carrying the insurance during that period?
Yeah, I'm sure that'd be
These are
all
just
part of that
questions
PPA.
that,
Yeah, that'll be all that part of that PPA, that's like, I think it's like a $4,000 or $5,000 premium, so the insurance on it is actually pretty cheap, I was really surprised.
I'd love to hear more.
Yeah, yeah, so, yeah, right, it's just kind of what the appetite there, but.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, next item is the parallel generation rates.
Alrighty, so, pull this up here. So, you know, we passed that, the parallel generation policy about a year ago. Kind of went from a net metering, so current, you know, before we did net metering, where it was just, you paid for what, you know, you produce so much, just net out what you got, so then you only pay the difference. And it was kind of a, from a solar person, you know, a solar user, it's a good deal for them, you know, in a lot of ways. And it can be a good deal for the utility, because, you know, they might make extra that they don't use, because we don't allow them to carry it over, so then we get, you know, basically free power from them, you know, if they produce more than what they use. So it can be an okay deal for us. So this kind of went more of the way of parallel generation, so it's kind of the newer model with us saying that, hey, there's basic costs that we have to cover to have you connected to the grid. You know, you obviously, as a solar somebody that owns a solar, you understand that, you know, there's 8, 9, 10 hours out of the day that you're producing solar, and there's, 14 plus hours where you can't produce solar. So, and then, the reliability, the ability to have additional power when your solar system can't keep up, or down, or whatever, something happens to it. So there's a basic cost beyond just the power component of our utility rates. So that solar generation was really, the parallel generation was really trying to capture that, saying, hey, we'll pay you some for the power. We'll let you use power right off of your own solar grid. And then whenever you buy from us, there's still gonna be a base charge to make sure that at the end of the year, you being on our system, or at least, netting something to pay for the poles and the wires and the transformers and everything else. So, I don't know if it's a perfect analogy, but it's kind of almost like the gas tax right now. It's kind of like, only gasoline, only gas cars are paying for it, should electric cars pay for it, should we pay for it by mile, or what's, it's kind of the same thing, so.
Well, and I'll just add to that, it's so that that base cost doesn't get passed to the other customers
Correct.
that don't have solar.
Yes,
So
yeah,
it's.
yeah, we don't want to